If you're taking your PMP and or CAPM exam, you have a choice to make. You got to take it either at home or at a Pearson VUE testing center. And in this video, I'm going to tell you guys how to safely take your exam at home, as it has much more benefits, and I'll cover that right in the beginning of the video. I'm Andrew Ramdial, and I am the author of the world's best-selling PMP study guide and the world's best-selling PMP course. Also, I've taught over 500,000 people how to pass their PMP exam. Let's get started. So, the first thing up, should you take your PMP exam online or should you take it at a Pearson VUE testing center? Really quickly, as I did cover this in a video before. I personally believe, and I'm going to go against the norm, as a lot of people recommend to take it at a testing center. I'm going to go against that, and I'm going to tell you guys, you should take it online. Don't go to a testing center. Why? Well, really briefly. Well, you see, I live in New York City, and New York City has about 7 trillion people that lives in a very small place. And basically what happens is, for me to get a testing date is incredibly difficult. So the number one reason why I would take a test at online versus at a testing center is that if I take it online, I can get a date maybe later today to take the exam, or tomorrow, or maybe the day after tomorrow. You see, in New York City, if I want to take an exam, a Pearson VUE exam at their testing center, I might have to wait 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 10 weeks, sometimes even like a CISSP exam for some of my students at a Pearson VUE center can take up to 3 months. So I don't want to wait 3 months. I don't want to wait 6 weeks to take a test. If I'm really ready, I want to take this test right away. So that's my number one reason why I do not take exams, unless I have to. Like some providers, like ISC Square, security vendor, they don't allow exams online. But if the vendor does, like CompTIA and PMI, they do allow it, so I will take it online. Another reason I want to take this exam online, it's just more comfortable. Number one is, when I take it at home, it's my computer, it's my keyboard, it's my mouse. More importantly, it's my chair. And it's really important too, is my temperature. I went to Pearson VUE 1 year ago to take an exam. Now, I'm a pretty big guy. I got a lot of insulation, and I got a lot of fur. And I get pretty cold when I went there. It was a summer day last year. I took an exam. While I was sitting to take the exam, I started shivering. I walked out of the testing center after about 2 hours. And when I touched my face, my hands were cold. And that rarely ever happens to me, unless it's a really cold day and I'm outside. But this center was cold. Oh my God, it was so freezing cold. I don't know why they do that. Not to mention their computer sucked and their chair was horrible. So if you have back problems like I do, you probably don't want to go to a testing center, especially sitting in that chair for 4 hours. You can need a chiropractic visit after that. So those are some reasons why I'm going to tell you guys, stay away from in-person testing or going to a testing center, and try to take it online. This video, I want to show you guys how to do that safely. I'm going to give you guys a series of steps that you can do to ensure that you take this exam online. And it's 3 main things I'm going to be talking about. How do we safely take your exam online? Let's get started. Now, this applies to basically any exam. I'm talking about PMP and or CAPM, but it could be for any exam that you can take at Pearson VUE online. And I'm also going to give you guys a link, check in the description, for a software that you can download from Pearson VUE to check your machine to see if your machine is good. Let's get started. So, number one we're talking about is hardware issues, all right? How do we safely take the exam? Well, number one, you have to overcome hardware issues. Now, to take this exam, you need 3 main pieces of hardware. You're going to need a microphone, you're going to need a camera, and you're going to need a good internet connection, all right? That's what you need. Stable internet, microphone, camera. Remember that. Now, if you have a laptop, you basically meet all 3 of these requirements. You meet 2 really good and 1 really bad. Let me explain. So here is my personal laptop. This is my Samsung laptop, or now my Yeti laptop. This is my Samsung laptop, all right? My personal laptop. This is what I use every day. This laptop, and I'm pretty sure it's your doing. This is a more recent laptop, as I'm a gearhead and I buy them every year. But if you have a laptop within the last 5 years, it's gonna be just fine. Importantly, this laptop, I'm pretty sure Azure has it too. is you have a camera. I know it's hard to see that, but this one has a 1080p camera. It has a built-in microphone, and of course, it has a wireless internet connection. Remember, to do this exam online, you need three things, right? What do you need? You need a camera, you need a microphone, and you need internet. So this has Wi-Fi for internet. It has a camera, and it has a microphone. So the camera is good. The microphone is good. Remember I said two things are good? Well, there's one thing that's really bad on laptops if you're doing the exam on a laptop. What's really bad is going to be internet. Pearson VUE, and I'm going to prove that to you. Pearson VUE does not recommend wireless internet when doing exams. I don't recommend it either. I would prefer for you to get a cable internet to your laptop. Now, here's the problem with current laptops, especially this one and the one I bought 2 years ago. I had a Dell XPS, I think I had. It did not have Ethernet ports, and I know a lot of Macs don't have Ethernet ports. Now, Ethernet port is the port that you're going to plug that network cable into. So to overcome the problems with wireless, use a wired connection. That's what I'm recommending. Use wired connections. Wireless is not stable. Wireless speeds go up and down. There can be tons of interference. It could be people joining the network, leaving the network. Somebody puts on a microwave and boom, it kills your signal and you lose it. Now, if you drop wireless signal when taking this exam, you could forfeit the entire exam, and it'll kill the connection to Pearson VUE and you'll fail the test. So let's make sure we use a wired connection. Now, the problem with laptops is, once again, there's no way to plug in a cable. This laptop, it comes with two USB-C ports, and it comes with a regular USB port, one of them. The problem with this, and a lot of Macs have this issue too, is there's nowhere to plug in a network cable. So I'm going to give you guys some hardware solutions. Now, these are going to be cheap, really cheap actually, 10 bucks probably, 12 bucks. I'm going to give you guys what I'm using. These are not, I'm not making money on this. There's no sponsored links or anything. You can use whichever one you like. Just go on Amazon and look up whichever one that may have better reviews, or maybe your IT department recommends. This is what I recommend. This is what I use. They work great for me on my Samsung. My PC, if you're using a Mac, I'm not sure if these works on Mac, but I'm pretty sure they do. I'm pretty sure they do work on a Mac. But any which way, let's go take a look at them. Here we go. So the first one up. So here's what I have for you guys. If you want to get that stable internet, I recommend to get something like this. So this is a USB-C to RJ45 connector, adapter. So basically, I'm going to plug this end into my my USB-C port, and the other end, I'm going to plug a Ethernet cable directly into it. And that way, I can now have a cable connection, and it's really stable, much more stable than using any kind of wireless. Again, I don't recommend wireless. Now, if your computer doesn't have a USB-C port, I have another link, again, description below. I have another one here that is a regular USB port to a Ethernet one. This one is $8.49, and this one here is $11.89. So pretty cheap stuff. That's what I recommend if you're using a laptop. Now, if you're using a desktop to do it at home, the desktop, again, you need three things. What do we need? Internet, camera, microphone. Most desktops already come with a Ethernet adapter in it. Almost all of them do. They're built into the motherboards on these machines, so I'm pretty sure they come with. Now, if you have a desktop, I'm pretty sure you already have connection to it. You should get you should make sure you hardwire it. Now, the problem with desktops is they don't have what this laptop has built in. They don't have built-in microphones, and they don't have built-in cameras. You don't have to go and spend $1,000 like the microphone I'm using above me, or the $4,000 camera I'm using. You could just do what I have when I teach. When I'm teaching, I use a really cheap, somewhat cheap, webcam that I'm going to show you guys right now. I'm going to show you guys what that webcam looks like. And it's the same one I use when I'm teaching. It's the same one I use when I'm taking exams. My personal desktop at home has the exact same webcam that I use when I take exams at Pearson VUE. And that's going to be this webcam. It's actually on this machine here. When I'm teaching, I use this particular one. This is a Logitech webcam, 1080p webcam. I'll show you guys what it looks like on Amazon. This is a Logitech C920X. Now, this is the one I recommend. This is the one I use. You can buy this. I would highly recommend it. You don't have to only use it to take exams, but you can use this particular webcam to do your Zoom calls. You can use it to do your Skypes and so on. So I think this works really well. It's just plug and play. There's nothing to install. Just plug it in and it works. And it comes with a built-in microphone. So if you get this particular webcam for your desktop, this gives you the webcam. This gives you a microphone. And then the machine should have a built-in network cable. So, not cable, Ethernet port. Now all you have to do is just get a network cable, go to your local computer store, or go to Amazon, look up network cable, and just buy a cable and run it from your router all the way to your machine. Maybe if you don't have this set up at your house, get a little desk, go sit next to your router, get a cable, 20, 30-foot cable, network cable. Just go to Amazon, type network cable. Put in the feet that you're looking for, find something close, buy it, plug it into the router, plug it into the adapter, and you're good to go if you're on a laptop, or just run into your desktop and you're good. So, number one, to take your exam online is make sure you have good wireless. Okay, that's number one. Number two is something really important. Is testing your machine, making sure your machine can run the Pearson VUE security software. You see, when you take this exam at home, you're going to want to make sure that your machine has the settings, configuration, and can support Pearson VUE software. Do this before scheduling your exam at home. Let's take a look at what I'm showing you. So Pearson VUE has a software that I'm going to put this link on in the description. You can actually go here and you can test your machine. All right, so here's what you do. You see this? I'm going to scroll down and there's something here we call run a system test. So I can go, I'm not going to run it. You run it on your machine. And notice it's going to tell me a couple of things. It says, if you have not already done so, restart your computer. Well, we don't need to restart it here. This is what I was telling you guys earlier. Use hardwire connection. Disconnect from VPNs. Do not have a VPN, by the way. Where Wi-Fi is your only option, sit as close to your router as possible. This is what I was telling you guys. I don't recommend Wi-Fi, and Pearson VUE does not either. Pearson VUE wants you to use a wired connection. So if please do that. I'm telling you guys, it's really important you do that. By the way, if you're using a laptop, I forgot to mention, make sure to plug it in. Do not try to run your laptop without power on it, because if it dies, you're going to be in trouble. You will not be permitted to leave the webcam view, which means when you're sitting there, you have to sit there and you cannot leave. If you leave, you forfeit the exam. By the way, you cannot have an external display. If you're using a laptop, you cannot use an external display. You have to use the laptop's display. So when you check all these boxes, let's say we did all of these things. We have it. Again, you could use Wi-Fi. If you are, I guess, just sit close to your router. I confirm I've completed all these steps. Great. Let's click on this. And then click next. Then what you have to do, you copy the access code, you download the software, you run it, you put the access code in. This software is gonna test your webcam, it's gonna test your microphone, and it's gonna test your internet connection. All right, so download that, try this software. This is the actual exact same software that you're gonna use on the day of your exam. So if you can run this on your machine, you're golden. Again, I can't emphasize this enough. Please get a hardwired connection, because you can run this on Wi-Fi and it is going to be just fine on the Wi-Fi. But then you start taking your exam and the Wi-Fi starts going up and down and you end up with a lot of trouble. So let's just do a quick review. Number one, make sure your hardware is good. Safely, make sure your hardware is, I'm recommending highly, make sure it's plugged in the wireless. Number two is to run this software, at least run it a few days before, run it the day before also, to make sure that your computer is in tip-top shape to run their software. Number three, nothing here for me to show you, but to safely take this exam online is to have a secure workspace What do we mean by that? Now, I'm going to go back here to Pearson VUE. Where am I? Where is that desktop? Here we go. You got to have, notice, it says choose your testing space. And if I just go here and I say get your space ready, you'll notice a couple things. Let's go through this. Pearson VUE is telling you, make sure it's private. Choose an enclosed space. Privacy is important. No one is going to be allowed in that room but you. Notice it says, allows for privacy and prevents others from entering or even passing through once you started the exam. Don't take your PMP exam and people are walking behind you. If the proctor sees that, you're done. You're finished. They will end the exam. You will fail the test. All right, so keep that in mind. Avoid testing near windows or glass partition where other people can see. In other words, no one should be behind you. Make sure it's nice and quiet. Make sure it's free from interruptions. Member of your household shouldn't be able to walk in. Make sure it's well lit. That's important. It cannot be dark because the proctor needs to see your face. Webcams are not good with lighting, so you need to make sure that you're well lit. Clear everything on your desk. Your workspace should be empty. The desk that you're using to take this exam, make sure there is nothing on the desk except your mouse and your keyboard. By the way, when I do this exam, I actually don't use the laptop's mouse and keyboard. I have a USB mouse and keyboard I use, but I do use a laptop screen. So keep that in mind. You want to make sure you have a nice, secure workspace. All right, that's going to be my third and final thing to do to take this exam safely. What are you doing? You want to make sure no one's in the room. Choose a room in your house where no one comes. Maybe it's a smaller room. If you have to do it in an open space, such as your living room or maybe in a dining room or in a kitchen, just let people know ahead of time. Hey, you guys can't come in for 4 hours. Also, you got to keep the background noise away. No one should be... Remember, your microphone is on throughout the whole test. If the proctors start to hear talking in the background, they can forfeit you on the test. So make sure there's no talking in the background, no walking in the background. Nobody should be walking in the background. These are all things that can get your exam forfeited. Okay, so these are things that I highly recommend you do. If you do these things, you're going to be just fine taking your exam. Take it online. I'm telling you guys, take the test in the comfort of your own home. Take it on that comfortable chair that you just spent a whole lot of money on. That nice new laptop you got. That comfortable desk, your own. You don't have to travel, less stress when taking this exam in your own home. The test is pretty stressful enough. Do you need more stress of going into a testing center, being pat down, getting your fingerprints or your handprint and all kinds of craziness that they do there? Okay, quick recap before I go, guys. What are you guys going to be doing? Number one, if you're using a laptop, make sure to get a Ethernet. Make sure to get an Ethernet cable and plug it in. If you don't have an Ethernet cable, get the Ethernet adapters. Check the links below. If you're using a desktop, make sure you have a webcam and a microphone for that. If not, get the webcam that I recommend. Again, you can get any webcam. Almost all of them has or will be compatible. Almost all of them have microphones. Make sure that your space is secured. We just talked about this. Nothing on your desk. Make sure no one's around you. Make sure it's nice and quiet. All right. And don't forget, one of the most important things we mentioned in this particular video is when doing this exam, you're going to have a lot of availability. I want you guys to pass that particular exam. All right. If you guys found value in this video and you found it helpful, can you give the video a like? Can you subscribe to the channel? I have tons of great PMP content. Check it around. I got tons of different videos that you guys will find interesting. And if you're looking to pass your CAPM and or PMP exam, don't forget, check the links below for all my courses and my best-selling study guide and my amazing simulator. Check those out if you want to pass your exam, and I'll see you in the next video.